Hey, boys and girls, Doug Giles here. It's Warriors Rich.
And Wildmen. What's happening, Doug?
Hunting season. Can you see that bad boy right there?
I can see it.
So, hunting season full swing. And if you need something to kill time while you're waiting to kill Bambi in the blinds, the Bible and hunting, it's pure gold, Rich. But you knew that. And also, like if your hunt is way far away and you don't like to read anymore, man, because you've got attention deficit disorder, we've got the incredible audio book. Rich, I know I recorded it and it's my material. I was listening to it the other day and I laughed so hard that milk came out of my nostrils, and I haven't had milk for 36 years. I think it was
That's
milk.
pretty good. That's some old milk.
Woo! Deep dive on that thing, man. Hey, you've been gone a long time. A long time. We miss you. We saw those insane pictures of you at 7 fathoms under the sea and had 16 air tanks on going through some wreck. That looks amazing, and I would never do it. So I admire you. I live vicariously through your deep dives into the big blue beautiful ocean. And thank God you're not in Davy Jones' locker right now.
It is pretty intense. People ask me if it was fun. And 4 tanks, trimix, which is helium, oxygen, and nitrogen, and in my main tanks, and then 2 deco gases, 200 feet deep. Entered a wreck at 200 feet deep, another wreck at 196 feet deep.
Not me, baby.
I'll say this. People say, is it fun? And I guess you have to define fun, because you're super focused. Every detail, even the plan for each dive, is computer programs and playing with a team for contingencies and failures. And then, and then in the process of it, seriously, every time that I get on my last decompression stop, and you're there for, I don't know, the last stop, you're there for 14 or 15 minutes, 20 minutes, I'm hanging out there relieved that I made it. So I don't know if fun gets it, but thrilling, challenging, exciting, interesting, and I'm learning, because I was with way more experienced guys than me. So, I mean, if those type of things describe fun, then it's fun. But it's not like going to the movies with some popcorn. Like, it's not that kind of fun, but very, very challenging. And then when the whole trip was over, I was actually very relieved. I mean, it's serious, So, but it was fantastic, incredible. I'm thankful I got to do it.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. So while you were abroad and stuff, did you follow the Charlie Kirk unfoldings in regards to who they're saying did it and what he used to supposedly kill Charlie?
Yeah, and it's weird because I kind of had a little vujade. You ever have vujade? It's like deja vu. It's a weird feeling. It was the opposite. It's a weird feeling that none of this has ever happened before, and then it's gone. I actually didn't have that. I had deja vu because this is my thought on it, Doug. I really feel like we're gonna go through the process of the Las Vegas shooter. And if the Warriors and Wildmen listeners don't know what I'm talking about, we're gonna be fed a whole bunch of BS, and we're never gonna know the truth. We put that with Martin Luther King Jr. We put that with Kennedy. I mean, we're not going to know. I'm happy to talk about it. I have my thoughts on it too, but they're never going to tell us the truth on it.
Yeah, and you get it when we're talking about the CIA and the FBI, especially under Biden's reign of terror. But this is Trump. This is his FBI, man. This is Kash Patel. This is Bongino. Again, I had higher expectations, but heretofore, as soon as Charlie was shot, and I saw it almost immediately, and before they started taking all the videos down, and then
did they take the videos down?
Yeah, a ton of them. I mean, there's still some that have been captured and spliced into other people's podcasts. But so I'm a hunter, man. I'm not a sniper. I'm not somebody who can shoot 1,000, 2,000 yards, that kind of stuff. But I've hunted a lot, Rich. I've hunted a lot, man. and very familiar with what they sold us right out of the gate. When the Utah governor's like, "Well, we caught him. Everything's nice and neat, and we got the culprit, and nothing to see here anymore." And then they started rolling out the details of the weapon that Tyler supposedly used, and they said it's a Mauser 98, Rich, a Mauser 98. It was his granddad's World War II Mauser 98 and 30-06. And then they show us this picture of a rifle that is not it's not a Mauser 98, man. That's like a Remington 700 or a Savage 110 or something. I have.
And how about the optics on it?
Yeah, the scope was kind of weird. You see how offset it was to the ejection portal, and then the eye it was extended way far back. It's something maybe an 11-year-old kid would use because he can't get to the trigger and can't really sidle up to the scope, so they move it super far back. And Tyler's what, like 6 foot tall or something like that. But here's the thing that freaked me out the most, man. So in my lifetime, I've owned 7 Mauser 98s. I have 5 right now. Rich, I'm looking at one right over there, a Mauser 98 with a small ring action chambered in the oh so venerable 275 Rigby. And I'm very familiar with them. And when they said Mauser 98 and 30-06, I immediately called bullcrap. There's no way that that's a Mauser. And there's no way Charlie was shot with a frickin' 30-06. It would tear his head off. I mean,
Bro.
and you would hear. So again, I heard everything immediately. I don't know how I got onto X or why I was over there, but as soon as it happened, I saw it and I heard the report of the rifle. And if a 30-06, Rich, went off in this concrete amphitheater, which that's what that quad was essentially, man, it would boom like nobody's business. And again, a 30-06 150 grain bullet coming out of the pipe is at like 2,900 feet per second, and it's got like 2,800 foot-pounds of energy, and it doesn't stop inside the neck, man.
Right,
It
right.
does not stop. And that whole backdrop behind Charlie would be painted red, and whoever was behind Charlie, they're gonna get hit with a screaming projectile, because again, 6-7 inches of neck is not going to stop a 150 grain
Yeah.
bullet.
Let me jump in real quick. Did you read that thing that doctors report? Charlie's bones were so strong, and all these Christians are jumping on that. They're like, he saved the lives. No, he didn't. That's stupid. That's fake. I don't care how strong his bones are. That bullet shatters bones. That is the dumbest. And Christians love that stuff.
It's a miracle.
Yeah, it's a miracle. Can we have a miracle of him not dying? Why is it a miracle of now his super neck of steel saved everybody? Because they have to make up stupid crap to account for the missing exit wound.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get shot and not have an exit wound, but not in the neck. And Charlie didn't have a particularly thick neck. Get shot in the neck with a 30-06 and no exit wound? No. People have asked me too, how hard is that shot? How many yards did you say that was? 200, right?
I think 153 is.
Yeah. So somebody asked me, is that a hard shot? You have to be a trained marksman. I said, no, not really. I said, you know what? I missed at 125. You were there. But we didn't know that my scope was popping in and out on my rifle. It's like, now it's out, now it's in, which Leopold fixed that for me. Thank you. Or actually gave me a new one. So you think about that. You just have some average guy with some rifle that's been laying around 100 years. He didn't go zero it in. That's not real. There's no evidence of him going to a range. He just grabbed a rifle that's been sitting for 4,000 years out of the closet and went and made a 153-yard shot. No, I don't agree with that, because you need to shoot. If you haven't shot a lot, you need to shoot a little. And people that shoot a lot before they go shoot, they also shoot a little. So a guy who does not hunt or doesn't know his way around a rifle to make a 153-yard shot, with a rifle that's been sitting in the closet that nobody's used forever. You haven't even checked the optics. To me, those type of things, because only one little thing has to go wrong for that to not work. So that doesn't make sense to me. Because like I said, my scope on my rifle, which is a decent scope on a nice rifle, with the glass is popping in and out. And I take very good care of my firearms, but that happened. So you have someone who doesn't hunt or do anything, just whoops it out and makes a shot. So I mean, that's just another thing.
Yeah,
too.
so supposedly, before his mother tore down her Facebook page because she was getting attacked, that Tyler did hunt with
Okay.
his old man and his granddad. So
Okay.
if,
So
if
that's possible. Yeah.
yeah, so that's an easy shot, man. If you're a hunter and you got good optics, 150 yards with a 30-06 is nothing.
And that's a flat round. That's not like
Yeah,
at that range.
right. Yeah, so again, going back to Granddad's 30-06. So Tyler's 22. Say his old man had him at, I don't know how old his dad is, which say his granddad's like in his 70s, Rich. And so Granddad buys a Mauser 98 with a plastic stock in the 70s or 80s. Mauser didn't mate their Mauser 98 actions with plastic stocks, 40 plus years ago. Now he could have done an aftermarket thing, but that's not a Mauser 98. That's not a World War II weapon that Granddad had, for many, many moons. And it's just so ham-fisted. They didn't even have to say that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
Don't say that. Why do they say stupid stuff trying to get us to think that, yeah, he's not a gun collector. He just happened to go to Grandpa's World War II gun and he'd had enough.
Yeah, and you know how many people have used the Mauser 98? I mean, we're talking about it's a standard issue weapon in World War II. A lot of people know about that rifle, and for them to play that card and then say that this is Rich.
That's a good statement right there.
Yes, it is. He said that he stuffed it down his skinny jeans, Rich, and he, horns.
With the scope on it.
Yeah, and so what people say, well, he broke it down, and then he stuffed the stock, in his right jean leg, and then he put the barreled action in his left. Okay, we're talking about a rifle that's 42, 44 inches long, and the stock's coming in at about 36 inches. And it's not a skinny stock. It's not like some kind of tubular type thing. You look at that frickin' rifle in that picture, it's going to put a bulge in your pants. Not the one that you would like to have, but one that is so imprinting on the jeans. And if he's got it up in his stupid T-shirt, it's going to register also. Same thing with the action in the barrel. There's no way that some kid is lumbering up staircases and running across roofs with that kind of stuff, impossibly stuffed down his pant leg. And then they said, well, it's in his backpack, Rich. That's a tiny ass little backpack. You're not going to cram. And again, I'm looking at one right now.
It sounds like a stupid story that they keep trying to make up stuff that could have been.
Right.
They made it up.
Yeah, and again, do you think that they forgot that this is 2025 and we all ask a hell of a lot of questions? And we're not the dumb media that's sitting there, taking whatever Walter Cronkite shoved down our gullet, 50 years ago. We're calling BS real quick. And again, this, from a comm standpoint, this is so horrible. Again, they're throwing chunks out there that are so easily and readily, blown apart. Again, the 30-06, Rich. Oh my God.
So that's not wrong. That's intentional misinformation.
Right.
Do you believe that?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I believe. And again,
because it's too detailed a bull to be. Oh yeah, we just got that wrong. Like they didn't say, "Here's the gun," and you look at it and you're like, "That's not what that gun is." Oh yeah, we got that wrong. It wasn't that. It's like, and he got it from his granddad, and then he did this, and then he broke it down. Like that's intentional misinformation to cover a lie. Like my kids got whooped for that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And like I said earlier, the sad thing is this is not coming from Comey and Biden, you know. And it's just again, I guess I was, Pollyanna dancing around the maypole with rose-colored glasses on, but this has pulled the rose-colored glasses off my face and, crushed them in two. I was watching Rob O'Neill, famous Navy SEAL. He was talking about the disassembling of the M98, which, Tyler did with incredible precision. So he's got it, again, according to the narrative, he's got it disassembled in his jeans. And then he gets up to the roof and he reassembles it, and then he makes this precision, shot at 150 yards. And then within seconds, Rich, he, with a screwdriver, which you don't use on Mausers, it's got a special type screw head that you need a specific tool for. But he, with a screwdriver, Rich, immediately disassembled the rifle, stuffed it in his backpack, and jumped off the roof, of his shooting perch.
And went to Dairy Queen.
And then got a blizzard.
Yeah, because he is a smooth criminal, bro. He is a trained, smooth assassin. You know what I'm saying? He is a bad dude. We just didn't know.
Yeah, so he did all this, in seconds after he killed one of the most famous people in the United States. And so Rob O'Neill said it'd take him 4 to 5 minutes to disassemble a Mauser 98, not seconds. And he said it takes 2 specific tools and not a screwdriver, which, Rich, Tyler left the screwdriver as evidence on top of the roof. But then he reassembled the rifle while he's on the lam, and reassembled it, wrapped it in a towel, put it in a box without a screwdriver because it's up on the roof. Wow.
I got a good one for you. 2 things to think about. 3 things, 4 things, 5, 10 things. So what about the old guy that they originally arrested? And he said, I have the right to remain silent. He jumps up, they arrest him, and he starts going down his pre-rehearsed lines. Remember, I had brought that up before. How does that happen? So that's just weird. I mean, it's just luck, it's one of those coincidences, Doug. It's almost like somebody stood up as a diversion. I mean, I can't even believe that.
Yeah.
And then what about the private plane that left the airport there and then dropped off the radar, went to Arizona and came back within hours? A private jet. And then they said, oh no, that's normal protocol. The black box was never turned off. It was just, they do that sometimes when it's crowded. So shortly after Charlie Kirk is shot, a private jet takes off and goes to Arizona and then comes back to Utah and just happened to be off the radar. Just what a coincidence.
Yeah, nothing to see here.
Wonder who was on that jet.
Yeah, so
I wonder if it was somebody that can shoot.
Yeah. Yeah, but instead of that, instead of investigating that, instead of really drilling down there, we are given a long, Rich, and I mean a long text exchange between the trans shooter Tyler and his furry gay boyfriend.
Yeah, wasn't his roommate the trans, and then he was just a trans lover, which means gay. But I mean,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But is it crazy? Is it crazy
right.
to you, Doug, how many of the school shooters and mass shooters in the last 20 years have been on antidepressants? And then in the last 5 to 7 years, how many of them have been trans? I mean, that's not a connection. It's all of them. So
yeah, I think we're at 9 now that were trans. 9 shooters.
Yeah, that many transformers are shooting people. I'm gonna keep my eye on any transformers.
Yeah. But so again, going back to, what we're being sold, when they put out the text exchange between Tyler and his trans lover, and they started reading it, I was like, I've never had any niece or nephew text anybody, me included, that reads like that. that was like an 18th century soliloquy. And it happened, Rich, just to cover all, I think, 7 or 8 points with which Tyler has been now accused of. And he
Weird.
admits everything, in
That's
this.
weird, man.
Yeah. So he's running from the cops and he's texting his love, with perfect punctuation, with feeling, with emotion, and with words that young people don't, use in common conversations. And I'm just like, man, you guys, I'm not on crazy pills, and you need to sell insanity and your bullshit somewhere else because we're all stocked up here right now.
Yeah, and isn't Tyler saying he's innocent?
Yeah.
Hmm. That's weird because you'd think if you were going to do all that, that you'd say, I did it. The people who do that stuff, they love to say, I did it.
Yeah, I'm just wondering,
Because you're unhinged. I mean,
right. Yeah, you don't care, especially if
you
it's if it's some kind of mandate political hit, and he was really pissed that, Charlie was having conversations about the problems in the trans community and the medical issues surrounding, that gender dysphoria. You think he would say, "Yeah, man, I did it because he's anti-trans," and we can't have that kind of Nazi, roaming around. Here's my call, man. So when I saw it, and I was talking to an old friend of mine. I don't think you've met him, but I hunted with him a lot. And so he texted me through and he goes, "Are you watching TV? Are you online right now?" And I said, "Yeah, I am." He said, "Tell me what happened." And the report that I heard when the shot went off, Rich, I told Phil immediately. He's like, "Phil, I think he got shot with a 22." Very low report, just, pew. It wasn't like boom. I mean, when a
it's
30.
weird too because a 22 can bounce around and not come out.
Yeah, so I think what we're seeing in the neck is an exit wound because of the blood dump. Usually when you're hunting, at least, and I guess I consider that hunting for Charlie, is that the exit wound is tiny, or the entry wound is tiny. It's the diameter of the bullet. It doesn't get big on the entry point. It gets big as it creates a terminal wound channel and as it exits, the body. I remember the addicts that you shot with a 300 H&H, which is just a little bit more powerful than a 30-06. You could stick your fist in the exit wound.
The
And
exit one was shocking.
yeah, so I think it's a 22 from behind, and I think that's what got him, and what we saw was the exit. Because again, on an entry, you're not going to have that big uh, voluminous dump of blood and matter. Not on the entry, unless you're using like a 450-400 or a 500 Nitro Express or a 600. That'll punch a hole, but the blood and again the big dump is going to come on the exit wound. At least that's what I've experienced through hunting, from Alaska and Africa and everywhere in between.
Yeah, and then there's other theories too on the bullet ricocheted off his vest, and
No
you know,
vest.
oh, he didn't have a vest on.
Turning Point affirms that, and a lot of pipe hit nut cutter operators are like, there's no vest. You can see, especially from his profile shot, that he's sitting in the chair. He's got a thin white T-shirt on, and there's nothing there, no
Well,
plate.
there you go. That's debunked. Um, and then also the exploding mic thing. And I mean, well, here's what I will say about those type of theories. One is people do not believe the BS that they're selling. Okay. Well, two things. Our media is not trustworthy. Our government is not trustworthy. So for people to question the narrative makes sense. Okay. And to start coming up with alternate theories, that's called critical thinking. let's go through a list of things. And like you said, no, he doesn't have a vest. Okay. Even the people who said that will be like, okay. Or exploding mic. Well, we've examined this. It's not that. Okay. Then what was it? Because it wasn't what they're saying. So people are like, look at these stupid conspiracies. Are they stupid conspiracies, or are people trying to find what
Right.
could be the answer because they're not telling us the truth? And as you go through the list of things, you can say, well, it's not this, it's not this, it's not this. But what was it? So I think people are just trying to get to the truth. I don't think they're making up stuff. And
Right.
does it look like a conspiracy? It does look like a conspiracy. We had the old guy standing up creating diversion. We have this stupid kid who shot him, and now they're saying from that angle would have had to shoot through the tent. He definitely didn't have skills to do that. And then you have the guy in the background with a ball cap on giving signals that are military signals for a sniper. I saw that. I saw the video of that. Then you have that guy also didn't flinch when the shot went off. Now the kid is saying he's innocent, he didn't do it. The tools and the weapons aren't lining up. So what are we supposed to do? You know what we do? We start trying to figure out what's the best that we can figure. So that's not a conspiracy theory. That's this didn't happen. Like you said, he wasn't wearing a vest. Okay. What if
Yes.
the media let me just say this real quick and then jump in and but what if the media would have said Charlie was wearing a vest and a bullet ricocheted off the vest and hit him in the neck? And then people came out and said he's not wearing a vest. Everything after that isn't a conspiracy theory. It's an attempt to find out what really happened, because what you said didn't happen. What the government and what the media is saying did not happen. So people are step by step trying to recreate or figure out what could have happened with the limited information we have.
Yeah. Yeah. On the vest thing, again, and I'm not hip to all this stuff. Body armor. I don't know. I'm just talking out of my backside right now, Rich. But I've seen 30-06 rounds, man, go through 3/8 of an inch steel plate with no problem whatsoever. Thick ass steel, man.
Well, I'm not saying it would have went through depending on the level of body armor, but it'd have slapped him out of that chair if he got hit
Yeah.
in the chest. No.
Yeah, that's. I mean, that if, and again, I don't know what kind of body armor is out there and what it's rated to, but a 30-06 to the uninitiated delivers out of the muzzle 2,800 foot-pounds of energy that's concentrated in 150, 168, or 180, 200 grain bullet. So that means that I believe this is what it means, Rich, is that you lift 20, say at 150 yards, he's at 2,600, 2,500 foot-pounds of energy. You pick up 2,500 pounds a foot, and then you drop it. That's what it feels like. And so we're to believe that he had body armor on, and the 30-06 went ping, and then and like you said, he slumped over because he was dead on the spot. And that little ricocheting, say that it did ricochet, it's going to decapitate. It's going to wherever that projectile lands next. It's not going to be good for that person in a dramatic fashion. And again, it's like that. It's not like a pellet gun, maybe. 30-06. No, you can be rocked backward. It's going to be ugly. There's going to be tissue and bone and stuff all over the place.
Well, I just looked this up real quick, and it says ammunition type: a standard 30-06 full metal jacket or a hunting round is less likely to penetrate a properly rated hard plate than an armor-piercing 30-06. NIJ rating level 3 hard plates are tested against 7.62 by 51 millimeter, which is a NATO 308,
right?
M80 FMJ at rifle velocities. In practice, many level 3 plates will stop a common 30-06 full metal jacket typical round at a typical engagement. Level 4 plates are tested to stop armor-piercing rifle rounds, and the test is a 30-06 armor-piercing. So there are plates, the highest level 4 plate is rated against even armor-piercing rounds fired from a 30-06. But there's a thing that I know from the guys that I talk to that have done this stuff. If it's not like you get shot by that and then you go, get some lunch. If it hits you, you might not be dead, but you're gonna feel like you want to be dead. Like,
Yeah.
so there's no getting hit by a 30-06, even with level 4. And he did. We know, we said that he doesn't have a vest on, but if he had a level 4 plate, this is saying it could have stopped that round, but it wouldn't have stopped his body from being slapped out of that chair, because all that energy would be dispersed across a bigger area. That's like a punch. That's gonna slap him right out of the chair. So it's not, 30-06. And like you said, hitting the neck. Bro, remember we were hunting and I shot that doe in the neck. And like you said, that was at the 300 H&H, which is a little bit bigger, but not significantly. And the scene didn't look like what we saw with Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I shot that doe, it looked like a horror movie.
Right.
There's there's no like little hole.
Right.
No, not from a 30-06. No way. No way.
Yeah. No, again, that's why we're incredulous over here, because
well, I'm not trying to be graphic. I was not going to say this, but I'm going to say it. And you were there. You remember when I shot that doe, I hit it maybe a third back in the neck.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't make a hole. It blew the whole front of the neck apart, and the doe looked like it got hit in the throat with a machete. It, like you said, it ripped the whole front of the third of the neck off. It wasn't a hole. It was an entire open channel to the front because of the shock wave and the kinetic energy and the power of that round hitting that, which I'm not trying to, I know some people it makes you uncomfortable. That animal died quickly. That's the goal. That's why we do what we do, because we don't want them to suffer. But there's no way. There's no way, because I've seen something like that. And guess what? Charlie may have been a big, strong guy. His neck was not bigger and thicker and stronger than the doe. No way.
Not at all.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, they're pawning this crap off to how many millions of hunters and people that are very familiar with what a 30-06 will do, and it's cuckoo talk, man. I'm telling you, just like you said, that whole little pop-up tent with that white, turning point thing, it would be painted red.
100%.
Because again, man, like who are
even
you?
with a lesser round? You said 275. Your Mauser that you have there.
Absolutely.
With a 275, there would have been
a
lot more blood.
Yeah, I'm sticking with 22 from behind, man. That's my call. You know what's interesting is that when, and I just saw this just the other day. So Charlie is sitting in the chair. He gets the lethal wound, and he's got a cameraman and a soundman that are behind the guy in the white hat that was doing the signal shit. And when Charlie got shot, he fell down. The cameraman goes behind the tent. You can see them filming, like they're filming something that's going on right behind the tent. So I don't know if again it's sound.
Well, that's been erased.
Yeah. Yeah, and here's another thing that I love, Rich, and it's reminiscent of Butler, Pennsylvania. After Crooks, got smoked by the counter sniper guys, the FBI washes the frickin' roof down, and then I think, within...
Because the FBI is interested in clean roofs,
Yeah.
Because that's what they do. They wash roofs. They don't pay companies to come in and clean up when they're done.
No.
They wash it because that's what they do, right?
Yeah. So anyway, after they cleanse the scene, then all of a sudden, poof! Our culprit has been cremated. What's it, within a week, 10 days?
Yeah, it was fast. In this investigation.
Yeah. And so here, it's we're on the spot where Charlie was assassinated. without, we are told at that time, no, no bullet evidence, you know. They, they decide, Rich, to do some landscaping. And so they rake that crime scene area clear, and they put pavers, where, there was sod to spruce up the place, It's like,
Because it's time,
who the blankety smacked racket, you know?
Do you think the FBI did that? They just want to make it look nice for everybody. They clean rooftops, they put down pavers. They probably did
Yeah,
that in their spare time.
yeah, they're environmentalists, It'll be a memorial. It'll be a memorial, Rich, to
Yeah, that's what it is.
yeah. Again, that back in the day, even as corrupt as our CIA and FBI were, it would still have yellow tape all around the crime scene, man. We had a person murdered around here, and they had yellow tape up for days around the home, and it wasn't like, and again, we are the bad people, Rich. We are the bad guys for just wondering, hey, why y'all doing that? Well, that doesn't sound right. I know 30-06, man. Oh, it was a Mauser 98? Well, I beg to differ. And all of a sudden, again, shut up. Nothing to see here. You're dishonoring Charlie's life. No,
Yeah.
I think Charlie would be concerned if somebody
Yeah.
that
If it wasn't him, it was somebody else. You'd have some opinions.
yeah.
And I'll say this. People are saying, well, he started speaking out against Israel, so they killed him. Lots of people are speaking out against Israel. That's trash. That's stupid. And then what are some of the other things they're saying? Oh, and then here's the thing. I'm a leftist and call myself a Christian, but Charlie Kirk was a hater and he deserved it. Like, if you're a Christian, we don't celebrate the death of someone unless they're evil. The Bible actually says that people celebrate when evil rulers die. Charlie wasn't evil on any level, not even remotely. So that's ridiculous. That stuff, it makes me so mad because, look, I've said this. When people do good things, I praise them. When they do things that I think are evil, I confront or condemn it. When Obama went after Osama bin Laden, I didn't care what anybody said about all their excuses in the world. That was a ballsy call. That could have ended his political career. He made a ballsy call that was dangerous. He backed it up. I believe his reasons for wanting to do it. He got the job done, and I said, excellent. And people were like, we thought you don't like him. I do not like him. He made a tough call. He did something that was right. He killed someone who's evil. I'm good with that. When Trump does something that I disagree with, I don't care if I'm a Trump supporter. I say, no, this is bad. This is wrong. So people need to stop all this bull crap. If I disagree with someone, so it's okay if they're dead. It's okay that people do that. Bro, you are an evil person. The Bible says when you call good evil and evil good, that's the sign of the last times of when we have completely broken down. And I know we don't think times are worse now than they've ever been. But I think Christians are disgusting that try to act like Charlie Kirk was some evil person. I'm done with that garbage.
Yeah. Yeah, it's in the book of Obadiah. I don't know how it's exactly phrased, but if you delight in somebody's demise, you're on the wrong side of business with Jehovah. And I don't even like some of this ghoulish stuff that's come out about people rejoicing, and it's like, man, you've ceased to be human at that. I mean, here you are disparaging the right as these cold-blooded phobes of everything that the left loves, and then all of a sudden a 31-year-old father of two with a pretty wife gets smoked in public, and that's a good day for you.
It's okay, he's white.
Wow.
He's white. No riots.
Yeah.
And I've said this 100 times. I'm going to say it 101. If you're anything more or before the word Christian, you're not a Christian. If you're an American Christian or an anti-American Christian or a black Christian or a whatever you want to put in front of that. If you're more that than you are Christian, you're not a Christian. That's not how that works. You're born again into a different kingdom. That's our culture. The Bible is the way that we live. And we don't make excuses, say, well, we don't do that. And so I'm not trying to hear any of that. If you are anything more than you are a Christian, you are not a Christian. Period. My first loyalty, according to the Bible, Jesus said, take up your cross and follow me. That means a cross represents, according to Tozer, the violent end of a human being. You give up your right to be all of those other things before the name of Christ. I am a Christ follower. I'm not a white Christ follower. I'm not an American Christ follower. I follow Jesus. My first loyalty is to him and his church and his mission. I'm more loyal to Christians than I am to anyone or anything else in the entire world. And if you have any tags you want to put on me, you may put them after that, but they're not on the level of that. This is first. This is my only. This is my loyalty. Everything after that is also up for debate, can change based on my relationship with Christ. So if you're still identifying as something Christian, you need to get on your face and ask Jesus what he thinks about it. Because I feel like the only answer you're going to get is the one that he always gave. Take up your cross and follow me. That's the basis, first step, basic Christianity. Everything else is bull crap.
Yeah, I love it when in how can I put this, in the Republican circles, when they would introduce me, to speaking engagement, it's like he's a powerful conservative Christian. I'm like, wait a minute, I'm a Christian first. Some of my politics are conservative, some of them are libertarian, and I'm not. So my politics takes a big old second little s rich seat to my Christianity. And so when you get into these, these polarized environments that we're dealing with right now, where everybody's, in their tribe and saying, you suck with your mouth high, my mouth high, me. It's like, we're called to follow the verbum Dei, man. We're not
That's
called,
right.
What does this group want me to say and do? It's like, what does this group, you
Then you're owned.
Yeah.
Then you're just owned.
Right. So I'm going through 1 John at church right now. And here's what we're called to do when we have animus, put against us, or we're in, a, United States of acrimony. We're supposed to love.
Yep.
Be patient, be kind, don't brag, don't boast, don't rejoice in unrighteousness, rejoice in the truth, be long-suffering. That's what we're called to do, man. And it sucks because that ain't me. That's, if you see that stuff, that 1 Corinthians 13:4, 1 John 3:15, if you see that emanating from me, you can stand in awe, Rich, and say, that's the Holy Spirit inside of Doug, because Doug doesn't roll that way. And that's what's weird with us being in 1 John is that I started it before Charlie's assassination. And then, it's like God sovereignly said, listen, with all of this rancor, your focus needs to be on love. That's what I command you. That's what I command you. I don't care what your political party is commanding you. I don't care what Fox News is commanding you or MSLSD is commanding you. I'm commanding you to love your brother.
It's good. I love it. That's a great conclusion. What am I supposed to do? Represent Christ. Die to yourself. Love your brother. That's pretty sure that's the gospel.
Yeah, when you get these, here's what I've been trying to do, Rich, and practicing righteousness. And when I see someone who's like loathsome, or somebody that we're getting, and they could be very hate-worthy,
Yeah.
But what I'm doing is like, Lord, save P. Diddy, save his stupid backside, get him converted, turn him into, whomever. And then you see some violent tool doing some weird crap in Portland. It's like, Lord, convert that guy and turn him into the Apostle Paul. Because we forget, man, that Paul was a terrorist. Paul was killing Christians. We would be hating on Paul, and Jesus.
They did.
Yeah, Jesus is like, you know what, man?
And when he showed up, they weren't like, cool, man, welcome. They were like, wait, hold on a second.
Yeah, Barnabas had to say, listen, he's legit. He really got converted. And but again, we forget that the apostle of grace to the Gentiles hated Gentiles, had Christians murdered, and was on his way to whack more Christians when Jesus knocked him off his high horse and blinded him and changed him on the spot. And again, we forget that, man. And I'd like all of us to remember that when we see these violent acts, that there's apostles, prophets, pastors, and teachers in that group that just need the Holy Spirit to, smack them off whatever horse they're riding and turn them into, his emissaries and our effective friends. So
yeah,
it sounds gay, Rich, but that's
it's not.
No,
because we have to go to the cross, which means I die to my nature, and then I take on Christ's nature. And the more we become Christ-like, that's the goal. What's discipleship? Forming the character of Christ in every believer. That's it. So I love it. I think that's the action point, right?
Yeah.
So what's the turning point? So we have the turning point. Okay, what's the action? So far, it's been what you're saying. People are not rioting. They're coming together and worshiping God, and they're getting excited about Jesus.
Yeah, no billion-dollar burn downs of cities. Turning point event yesterday at the University of Montana. 4,000 packed to the rafters, worshiping Jesus instead of blocking highways and burning down Wendy's and all that other kind of garbage. Again, you're seeing the difference between the left's protagonist in Floyd and the Christians in Charlie, and the fruit. It's like, what kind of tree is it? Well, look, check its fruit, man. And that's another upshot is seeing people completely getting their life and their family right with God and not screwing around. And hopefully it sticks. And it's not just emotional, but I think the Holy Spirit's afoot. Everybody's talking about the devil, and listen, the devil is a created being, and I don't care if the Antichrist or the Antipasta or the Anti-M or the Antifreeze shows up on the scene. Jesus is going to crush them like worms, and his church is the eternal purpose, and it'll become a tree, Rich, that fills the whole earth, and the birds will rest in its branches. That's what I believe. It's not Satan, is going to rule this planet. He's not alive and well. He was crushed a death blow on Calvary in the resurrection. And all power in heaven, all of it, not half of it, in heaven and on earth, is in the hand of sweet and cuddly 7-pound, 13-ounce baby Jesus.
That's it. We win.
Here and in eternity.
Right.
Post-mill coming through, man. Post-mill coming through right at you, Rich. All right, big dog. So what's the Warrior Wildmen listener, viewer need to do, my buddy?
Well, they need to, regardless of what their opinions and insights and understanding of everything that's happened, I like the action point. 1 John, let's love. That's Christ's call to his church. That's the purpose of the church. Win souls, make disciples. That doesn't happen without loving God and loving people. So Warriors and Wildmen, go to warriorsandwildmen.com. Subscribe. It's free. Send you a couple emails a week, let you know what's happening, keep you up to date. If you're getting something good from the podcast, hit the war chest. Your gift is tax deductible when you send it. We'll send you the information on that, which is squared away. And those that aren't, hey man, we see you guys. We appreciate you guys. Pray that you guys are blessed. Warriors and Wildmen out.